Hello, ladies and gents. Welcome to tonight's episode of Morte D'Arthur. Tonight, we tell the tales of many great nights as we go through the halls of Camelot. And on top of that, I get to be very, very sorry that I'm late for tonight's show. So, hello, Sarah! You found the time. Welcome, Sarah. It's good to see you. It's great to see you, actually. Welcome, welcome, welcome. No, Roger. Don't worry, I was afraid that you'd all have gone home. If one can go home from Periscope. I was afraid that you'd all have gone home by the time I came and did tonight's show. So I've been wrestling, trying to get on, but I'm here. Excellent, Sarah. It's wonderful to see you. Hello, Reagan. How are you? Hello, Danny. Hello, Karen. Hello, Roger. Welcome, guys. Welcome. Good, well, the smiting will be on its way, Danny. Have no doubt about that. Hello, Queen. Hello, guys. And I discovered, I didn't watch it, but I discovered the topless man cooking on, making meatballs, whatever he was doing on Periscope last night. And what can I say? That's clearly an impressive thing. So hello, Clockwork. We're doing John Silkin tonight, Clockwork, for Poetry Live. So that's still to come. John Silkin coming up. But yes, all good stuff. Always. So I mean, that should be it. Instead of that guy might do sort of baking and cooking topless, I'll do mine in a cardigan. It's almost as cutting edge as that, only slightly less. I'll do it in a cardigan. It's all good. Hello, Jack. Hello. Welcome to tonight's show. Hello, Lynn. Come in. We'll give it another minute or so before we go and start with tonight's story. Don't be bashful, Queen. Oh, Jack, that's not a nice thing to say. You'll get blocked if you do that. I would rather my chef dressed when cooking as well, because you know what, being dressed whilst cooking means that you're well protected from spitting pans and hot oil and all of that stuff. So there we go, that's what you've got to do. Stay dressed whilst cooking, guys, because that makes folk happy. At least it makes them not burnt. But yes, I will do mine in a in a cardigan, because that's how poets do it, ladies and gents. Can I pop a little thing? This is a real hoodie, by the way. Look at this. It's a stylish hoodie, which means it looks from the front like it might be a hoodie, but there's no hood on it. It's just a big colour. There we go. Naked doesn't work for any number of activities. Basically, if you're dealing with hot stuff or sharp stuff, wear clothes, guys. Wear clothes. It wins every single time. Unless, and I'm glad you like the energy, Reagan, unless, of course, your name is Sir Tristram, in which case, as we've seen, you can fight off 100 knights whilst wearing no clothes and having no sword, because Tristram is just that good. Is that what it's called? Is it a roll colour? Yes, guys, this is my roll colour. And my trousers, which are covered in grease smears because I've been eating ribs. So there, trousers covered in grease, but a fancy roll collar, if that's the name of it, on the pop. There you go. If you can get a cardie, Clockwork, if you can get a cardie, you're 90% of the way there. Well, Roger, enough of the nakedness. Let's turn to tonight's tale of Morte D'Arthur, because we're ready to delve back into the lands. A jumper can work, as long as it's knitwear, I think. As long as it's knitwork, you're okay. We'll delve back into Camelot. We've already told of how King Mark and Sir Tristram... No, there was a guy walking around the office the other day in just a cardie and nothing beneath it. Not a good look. Not a good look. Never just a cardie. We do get on some very strange topics here. He wasn't from my office. He was from the office just down the hall, and he was in the shared kitchen area and making a cup of tea, and it was awkward. It was very awkward. Anyway, we return to Camelot. King Mark and Sir Tristram have gone off to Cornwall. King Mark promising that he would be friends with Tristram, although in secret planning to have Tristram slain. No, this was a bearded guy, hairy chest, very short. Just layer up, guys. Layer up. Layers. It works. And so we turn now. We told the tale last night of Sir Gawain and Sir Gaeris, both brothers, and Sir Lamorak, who lay with their mother, Queen Morgwan of Orkney, and how Gaeris slew his mother for lying with Sir Lamorak and chased Lamorak out of Camelot and ran off after them. And so tonight, ladies and gents, with Sir Lamorak, I'll post them up on the website for you, Sarah. I will post them up on the website. So, as Sir Lamorak runs fleeing from Camelot, we turn to another brother of Sir Gawain for tonight's tale. For now leave we of Sir Lamorak and speak of Sir Gawain's brethren, especially of Sir Agravain and Sir Mordred. As they rode on their adventures, they met with a knight who was fleeing and sorely wounded, and asked him of what tidings he had. "Fair knights," said he, "there comes a knight after me who will slay me." And with that came Sir Dinadan, riding to them by adventure, but he would promise them no help. But Sir Agravain and Sir Mordred promised to rescue that knight, and therewith came that knight straight unto them, and anon he challenged them to joust. That saw Sir Mordred ready himself and ride to him, but the knight struck Sir Mordred over his horse's tail, and that saw Sir Agravain then ride his horse and come straight towards the knight, and right so he served Mordred as he had served Agravain, and said to them, "Sirs, know you well that my name is Sir Bruce Sans Pité, who has knocked you both down." And then he rode his horse over the fallen body of Agravain 5 or 6 times. And when Dinadan saw this, then he demanded to joust with Bruce Sans Pité for shame. And so Dinadan and he encountered together, that with pure strength Sir Dinadan smote that knight over his horse's tail. Then he took his horse and fled, for he was on foot, one of the valiantest knights in Arthur's days, and the great destroyer of all knights. And so rode Sir Dinadan unto Sir Mordred, and unto Sir Agravain. "Sir Knight," said they, "what have you done, and well have you revenged us? Wherefore, we pray, tell us your name, for we are thankful." "Fair sirs, you ought to know my name, for my name is Sir Dinadan." And when they understood that it was Sir Dinadan, they were more angry than they had ever been before, for they hated Sir Dinadan out of measure, for he had fought with the good knight Sir Lamorak shamefully after Lamorak had been wounded. For Dinadan had such a custom that he loved all knights that were valiant, and he hated all those that were destroyers of good knights. And there were none that hated Dinadan but those that were called murderers. And then spoke the hurt knight that Bruce Sans Pité had chased, for that knight's name was Darlan. And he said, "If you are Dinadan, then you slew my father." "It may well be," said Dinadan, "but then if I slew him, it was either in my defence or at his own request." "By my head," said Darlan, "you shall die, therefore." And therewith he dressed himself with spear and shield, and to make the tale short, Sir Dinadan smote Darlan down off his horse, and his neck was nigh broken. And in the same way he smote Sir Mordred then, and Sir Agravain, and after, in the quest of the Holy Grail, cowardly and feloniously, those knights would slay Dinadan, the which was great damage, for he was a great boarder and a passing good knight. And so, that day, Sir Dinadan rode on to a castle that was called Beal-Valley. And there he found Sir Palomides that was not yet whole of the wound that Sir Lamorak had given him. And there Dinadan told Palomides all the tidings he had heard and seen of Sir Tristram, and how Tristram had gone and left Camelot with King Mark, with him who with all of his will and desire he despised. And therewith Sir Palomides waxed angrily, for he loved Queen Isolde, and he knew well that Tristram was returning to Cornwall to enjoy her. Halfway, ladies and gents, through tonight's tale, and that evil knight who has cropped up time and time again, Sir Bruce Sans Pité, has finally been knocked from his horse, but fled again, for he is faster than any other knight. And Dinadan, who saved the lives of Sir Mordred, Sir Agravain, and Sir Darlan, has had his death promised, for he slew the father of Sir Darlan. And so, one day in a not too distant future, ladies and gents, yes! My name is Inigo Montoya, you killed my father, prepare to die. Clearly Sir Dinadan was fighting with his left hand in that scene, and could have switched to his right at any moment. There in the future one day, on the quest to the Holy Grail, Sir Dinadan will be foully slain by those knights who came against him. But, ladies and gents, let's continue and speak now of some new knights. For now, we leave Sir Palomides and Sir Dinadan in the castle of Beal-Valley. Oh, Mordred isn't going to be a goner for some time, Clockwork. For some time. That wasn't a good enough evil laugh. I should do a better evil laugh. I should rehearse a better evil laugh for you guys. I apologise for the lousiness of my evil laugh. And we turn to King Arthur. There came a knight out of Cornwall, and his name was Fergus, a fellow of the Round Table. And there he told the king and Sir Lancelot good tidings of Sir Tristram, and there were brought goodly letters, and how Tristram had left in the castle of Tintagel, and there came the damsel that brought those goodly letters unto King Arthur and Sir Lancelot, and she had passing good cheer of the king and of Queen Guinevere, and there Sir Lancelot. And then the king and his knights wrote goodly letters again, but Sir Lancelot bade ever that Tristram should beware of King Mark, for ever he called him in his letters King Fox, as who saith he fearest all wiles and treason. And therewith Sir Tristram in his heart thanked Sir Lancelot, and the damsel went unto Queen Isolde. And she bore her letters from the king and from Sir Lancelot, whereof she was in passing great joy. Fair damsel, said Queen Isolde, how fares my lord Arthur and the Queen Guinevere and the noble knight Sir Lancelot? She answered, and to make a short tale, much the better than you and Sir Tristram be in great joy. God reward them, said Queen Isolde, for Sir Tristram suffered great pain for me, and I for him. And so the damsel departed and brought letters to King Mark, and when he deemed that he had sent and when he had read them, he understood them, and he was angry with Tristram, for he deemed that he had sent that damsel unto King Arthur. For Arthur and Lancelot in a manner threatened King Mark, And as King Mark read these letters, he deemed treason by Sir Tristram. "Damsel," said King Mark, "will you ride again and bear letters from me unto King Arthur?" "Sir," she said, "I will be at your commandment to ride wherever you will." "You say well," said the king. "Come again," said the king, "tomorrow, and fetch your letters." And she departed, and told them how she should ride again with letters unto Arthur. "Then we pray you," said Queen Isolde and Sir Tristram, "that when you have received your letters, that you would come by us, and we might see the privity of your letters." "All that I might do, madam. You know that I must do for Sir Tristram, for I have long been his maiden." And so on the morn the damsel went to King Mark to have his letters and depart. "I am not advised," said King Mark, "as at this time to send my letters." And then privily he secretly sent letters unto King Arthur and Queen Guinevere and Sir Lancelot. And the varlet departed, and found the king and queen in Wales at Carlion. And as the king and queen were at mass, the varlet came with the letters. And when the mass was done, the king and queen opened the letters by themselves, and the beginning of the king's letters spoke wonderfully short of the King Arthur's, and bade him to intermeddle with himself and his wife and his own knights, for he was able enough to rule and keep his wife. There we have it, ladies and gents. To end that tale, letters are flying now between Camelot and Tintagel in Cornwall. And as those letters fly backwards and forwards, ladies and gents, we begin to see how King Mark despises Arthur and Lancelot, and how he sees treachery in Tristram and his own queen for even consorting with those other courts. He has sent his letters to King Arthur in private so that he might not have his letters read by Tristram, and he's demanded to read the letters of his own queen and Isolde, his own queen and Tristram, before ever they should be sent over to Camelot, and has told Arthur to butt out and leave him to rule his own kingdom. Ladies and gents, Cornwall is becoming troublesome. Treachery is beginning in the court of King Mark. Deceit, tensions. It won't be long until bloodshed is on its way, and I, for one, cannot wait for King Mark to blow his top. Next week we shall see dark stirrings indeed within Camelot, but not within Camelot, within Cornwall. For let me tell you this, ladies and gents, let me tell you this: war is coming to Camelot. Not to Camelot, to Cornwall. I fluffed my line. Let's forget that. Ladies and gents, war is coming to Cornwall, and I can't wait. Next week, war, ladies and gents. Next week, war will come to Tristram and to King Mark. It will be epic. It will be glorious. It will be fabulous to tell. I like big battles, and I can't deny. Yes, no, make war, not love. Well, actually, make love and war at the same time over in Cornwall. I think the damsels would think these feminists quite strange. Pardon me, I don't think... I think that they would probably, Sarah, think that they were barking up the wrong tree. And then they might go back to making some tapestries and being rescued by knights. That's the place of a medieval woman was pretty much, it seems, to be rescued by knights, I'm not even to do the cooking, just to hang around. Be beheaded occasionally, that's it. To be beheaded, to have curses placed upon them, occasionally to curse or trick other knights, and to be rescued, to fall in love, or to be a witch. Or to be a witch. Indeed, possibly the only sort of woman that you'd be able to make a feminist argument for would actually be Morgana Le Fay, I think. Morgana, you'd be able to make the argument for, and she's got a bit more depth to her. And possibly Nimue for her killing of Merlin. Maybe Nimue, the Lady of the Lake, and Morgana Le Fay, but that would be it. Anyway, next week we'll get to make more of those wonderful, wonderful characters, ladies and gents. And coming up now, I'm going to close down this scope and open up the next one, because I promised Clockwork it would happen. John Silkin coming up on Poetry Live. So thank you, Sarah, thank you, Danny, thank you, Karen and Clockwork Queen and Julie. Silkin coming up on Poetry Live. See you in a minute. Bye-bye.